Now Riley's probably not the typical horse that you would begin a Liberty journey with, because everything I've done with him up to this point over the last almost 3 years now helps everything we're going to do. So he's got a lot of fundamentals in place that should, if going well, make the preparations for Liberty easy, and therefore the transition to Liberty in itself easy. Okay? So one of the realities of playing with a horse with no halter lead on, where they are literally at liberty to do what they want, is they're going to leave you. The same way where you get yourself involved in anything with a horse, it doesn't always work out quite as you planned. Your goal might be to jump a course of show jumps. Well, I don't know any top show jumpers that haven't knocked over a rail. All right, these things happen. You're a dressage person, there'll be times, oh, you didn't stop square, or you missed the lead, or whatever it might be. So things are going to not happen the way you want them to, and it's really up to us to go, well, what can we do then to have the best outcome? Because there's lots we can do to make that less than positive thing a very negative thing. We could also make that less than positive thing quite a positive thing. So there are various ways that a horse can leave you at liberty. The obvious one is they want to leave you. Okay, they choose to. They choose to leave. So they make a conscious decision, and they're very capable of it. His body is far superior to mine when it comes to movement, so he could do that easy enough. And we'd think about setting it up in a situation where we'd allow him to keep his motion, not allow him to settle. When he comes back to us, he can settle. The difficulty here, he doesn't necessarily understand that. So until he's done it and practiced it, he doesn't necessarily understand it. So what I'm going to do before I actually get him into a situation where he leaves is I'm going to teach him that coming back is actually quite a good deal. Well, that sounds a bit back to front, but how are we going to do it? Very simply put, I'm going to ask him to get out there and circle me, and it's going to be an active circle where I'm facing him, so I'm tracking him. We call that tracking. And you may have a lot of words that you'd like to associate with this, different ways you want to dress it up and sugarcoat it. It is pressure. If I'm looking at him and I'm active, there is pressure on him. Pressure is information. It helps him know what to do, and it gives him the ability to assess the situation and respond appropriately. So there is going to be pressure on him. Now, I'm then going to draw him in, and if he doesn't come in real well, that's okay. A lot of them don't the first couple of times, but they get to come in, experience what it's like once they come in, and this is a big part of this process, is you're just going to sit there with them while they go, actually, that's quite a good deal. In his case, I would hope that he'd come in well, given all the other preparations we've done. So it's going to look a little something like this. I've got a pretty short line on here. I could have a longer line on. In fact, it's a good idea to get to a point where you have a longer line on. This is about 3.6 meters, 12 feet, something like that, right? The idea of perhaps doing it at slightly shorter range is the mental connection is stronger, so it's just a bit easier for him to find the answer. So you could do it a little bit on the shorter line, then build up to a longer line where it's a bit more realistic. He will be further away in most cases when they leave, right? Even if you're in the standard 50-foot round corral, he's going to be twice the distance away if you're in the center. But this will make it a bit easy, and I'm trying to do this in a way that is easy for both of us. So let me do this. It's not so much I'm really going to assertively send him away, but I'll guide him away and then suggest some forward motion. Now the fact that he hasn't already hit the end of the rope suggests he's thinking a little bit more into me, which is always a good start. I do this keeping in mind that I want his inside ear on me. I'm not looking for correct bend or anything like this. Good, he actually looked in. So I'll have him going out here. Trot's about as fast as I need him to go. Walk would be fine to start with too. When I come to draw him in, I'm going to go backwards. See, right now I'm going forwards, right? We're going forwards. Oh, it looks like he's real keen to come in, so this is going to be good. I'm going forward, so I'm going to have a contrast of backwards and into his path. And I did a little experiment there. Oh, that was good. I did a little experiment there of just see if just my body language would be enough. Now, it's often not when you start out, but you can see that in the circle, he was already turning in and already looking in. So he's already telling me, I want to come in. his expression told me I'm not really happy being out here, I want to be in. So I just took advantage of what I already had. And that's a little benefit if you know the horse and if you've done the preparations with them like this. So we come in. Now, this has not ended yet. For the next, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, I'm going to stand here and do nothing with them. So I'm really going to load the idea of coming in, finding a contrast between being active on the circle with me tracking you, and that is pressure, right? My belly button's on him, my eyes are on him. I add a little bit more when he starts to take over the idea of coming in, or if he pulled on the rope, that would be some added pressure too. He didn't actually do that, but that could be it as well. Or if he didn't want to trot, you may have to put a little more energy out there. All that gives him information about how to respond. But it also adds a contrast for when he comes in. Now we do this. It's very different. So the greater the contrast, the easier it is for them to learn. This is something that's very underdone, as the dwell time. And it's one of the key components for creating draw, is actually that undemanding time with the human. So we make the most of this. All right, now to make this a slightly more interesting video, rather than me just standing here for the next 6 minutes or something like that, I will send him out in the other direction. And we might find he's quite uneven one way to the other. One way he may physically be uneven, that's a possibility, but also it's a different eye, so he may have a different opinion about where he should be, with me or out there. So you'll notice little things like that. You don't bother about it. He's already thinking about going, so that's kind of handy. So you see I'm moving forwards. You're out of my space there, Riley. Thank you. You can see by his expression he's thinking more in than out. So how can this not work, right? So something I could do, and I'll just show you this as a bit of a contrast. It might mean it doesn't come in quite so well, but something I could equally do is say speed up a little bit, not necessarily change gait, but speed up a little bit and then come in. So I'm going forwards here. Hang on, we'll get it. And like I say, and speed up a little bit. Okay. Whoop. Wow. All right. Well done. So he hopped along there. We could casually call that a canter, I guess. Most of the time that I would do this, I would have to draw the rope in and guide them in. I haven't had to do it with him, but you've seen how much he actually wants to come in anyway. So he's already got that. So there's no point me doing any more than I have to do. Another thing you may have to do with some horses, as you try and guide them in, is actually take the stick and put it out in front to guide their nose in towards you. Okay, I didn't do that at all. I didn't even change hands with the stick, only because of the horse I have in front of me right now. So that little deal there starts to give him an answer to what do I do if I'm loose and they continue to put some degree of pressure on me and I can't find a place to settle out there. How can I find a place to settle? He understands that if I come in, pressure goes off, he gets to settle, and life is good. And that, Riley, will be a good start for you.